So what this guy is saying is 1 up, that means 1 minute. So the line is pretty long, and typically the guy that takes care of the grid, he's going to give you a 5-minute warning, a 3-minute warning, and possibly, not always, a 1-minute warning. And he's in contact by radio with everybody at the corner stations on the track, so he knows that the cars are coming in and they're approaching and we're about to be able to go. So anyway, he gives you a countdown, but only the people that are close to him can see him. Even if he puts his hand up in the air showing 5, showing 3, not everybody can see because the line or grid can be pretty long. So the reason why he was screaming there is because the group hadn't been very good at relaying the information, so he wants you to also put your hands up. If he put his hand up with 5, showing 5, that means 5 minutes. He wants you to put your hand up so that the car behind you can put their hand up so that all the cars can see it's 5 minutes. And then when he shouts out the 3-minute warning, then he'll put his hand up with a sign of 3, and then he wants you to do the same. So he was just trying to get us to do that. So for this session, I actually picked a group of students that were pretty fast because I had Sean in the M4, in the white M4, the one that you can see here in 2nd position. And I had picked up this guy in the M2 Competition, that's right in front of me right now, in 3rd position. And the two of them were driving pretty fast. Sean and I also know Pawel. We live in the same area. And he's also in an FAD competition, and he was moving pretty fast as well, so we lined up with him this time around. But instead of being in front of the lead and follow, I decided to follow, do the follow part this time around, so I could see what they were doing and let them fend out for themselves. Now, behind me is a Cadillac ATS-V driven by Edwin, who's also local. Lots of people here were from the same area. So he was pretty fast too. So he's behind me, but I wanted to let him by so he can play with the other 3 that are in front of me right now. So I'm pretty sure quite shortly I'm going to let him by. And sure enough, this is the passing signal for me. I went offline so he could carry on without losing any speed. And now I'm just going to follow these guys. And they all seem to be doing really, really well for the intermediate group. So it was fun to watch them. So I just wanted to follow them around and see who was going to end up in front of whom and how it was going to play out. And if they could learn from each other, see if they all take the exact same lines or slightly different lines, and just figure out if anything's working better for each other and see if they can learn from each other. So it was very fun being behind them. Here you can already tell that Pawel has created a small lead. He's left Sean a little bit, but he's still within reach. The guy in the M2 competition decided to let the ATS-V go by. He was doing really well actually. He looked like he was all over the M4, but I think I don't know if he knew from previous sessions that the ATS-V was maybe a little bit faster, or if he just had a feeling he was faster, but he let him by. So now he's still following pretty well. The ATS-V is going to try to catch up to the M4, and I'm sure the M2 competition still hopes to catch up as well. can see that Paul is even a little bit further in the lead, and if you look up the hill here, he is getting towards the top right now, but still not that far away. But I do want to make sure I'm able to follow each one of them, so if one of my students falls behind, I am hoping they will let me by, because I do want to keep up with everyone so that I can keep an eye on all of them and see what they're all doing, so I can possibly get back to them after we get off track, or if I need to get back in front of them to show them something, I'm able to do that during the session. I appreciate the pass, and as you can tell, Sean in the M4 also let Edwin in the ATS-V get by, and we're closing a gap here, so I'm catching back up to the two of them. But I'm hoping the M2 Competition can follow me and catch up to me and see my line so that he can stay tight with us. Did I mention my tires were completely shot? So Edwin clearly did pretty well. He managed to catch up to Paul, starting from last when Paul started from first, and there we go. He just got a pass on Paul. Now I know Paul told me later on that his tires started to heat up, but tires will heat up, and tire management is also part of driving. So anyway, good on Edwin to work his way through every car there, because everybody was fast and he just managed to get by everybody. So that was pretty good on him. Now I have Sean behind me and the M2 Competition, and I'm hoping that I can get Sean back on track, because he had started to develop a few mistakes. He was just doing a few things here and there, whether the line was off or whether he was getting a little bit like overdriving the car a little bit. It caused him to slow down, but now he's behind me. He can regain his composure, follow me, and actually do a lot better. So he's actually right now following me pretty well and doing better than he had been doing those past few laps. So he really needed me to get back in front. So it worked out really well, and now we're catching up to Paul. So Paul's giving me the pass there, and I waved it off, but you know he had already slowed down and he was already committed to giving me the pass. So I was planning on following him for a lap or two, but you know, I just had to take the pass. So I took it, I went by, and then I decided, well, I'll just have to see how Edwin is doing then. I believe that Sean in the white M4 is right behind me right now, so I think he also was able to pass Paul on the following straightaway and then stay with me pretty close. But I will be posting in the video description the link to the video that he took from his car. So if you're curious and you want to see a different angle, or you want to see a video from my car from the outside, you know, check the description on all of these videos from that weekend in Hallett. Whenever he posted a video, I put the link in the description, so feel free to check them out. It's just really cool that you're able to follow the footage and what happened between all the cars from different angles and stuff. So. Now this is a BMW event, BMW CCA, but I've got to say this Cadillac ATS-V is doing really well. I mean, obviously it's been driven pretty well, but it seems that both the driver and the car are doing really well on the track, fending off for themselves against, you know, all these BMWs, M2 competitions, M3s, M4s, M3 competitions. So I was pretty impressed. I haven't been in one of these to see from the inside how it feels or to drive and to see if you know, I've heard really good things, but always been a little bit skeptical that they might be better than BMWs, but it really looked like he was holding his own for sure on the track. So really good points for the car from Edwin there. Sean, like I said, really regained his composure from following me. I was really pleased with him, and he was able to get back in front of Edwin. So Edwin passed him earlier, and then he followed me, adjusted his line, regained his composure, and really started driving a lot better, a lot more smoothly, and was able to just follow me past Edwin. So as soon as I passed Edwin, I let him by so I could watch what he's doing and see if he could reproduce what he'd been doing behind me, now in front of me. Sean, if you're watching, I'm not pleased about this. Look at that. You entered the corner in the middle of the track, completely missed the apex. Come on, man, you gotta clean this up. Here is much better. Sean tended to take a wide line, a lot of students do, and I was teaching him to take a much tighter line through there, and that was much better. Here, he's doing pretty well. He's fighting. He has this urge, and it's very intuitive. People just want to do that. They want to stay to the right side of the track, but you got to be patient. You got to let the car come wide so that you can rotate the car and position it perfectly on the other side of that right-hander to be set up for the left-hander, and so he did well there. He was patient enough that he didn't mess that up, and he did set himself up right for the left-hander. And this is much better than the last time around, but still the line was a little bit off coming into turn 9, and so he missed the apex. This has been pretty good since turn 10. I'm wondering, can we take an entire lap? But this one, a couple times in a row, he just came wide, missed the apex. So since turn 10 had been a good lap, but messed that up right here. And honestly, if you start to get a little bit sloppy, you notice you overdrive the car. Like you can tell right now, he's coming too wide again in turn 9. So if you do that, it's okay. Just take it down a notch. Just take a deep breath. You're overdriving the car, and try to slow down just by a little bit, and then build back up from there. So right here, I noticed the checkered flag, so that's why I'm not accelerating. But that was quite fortunate, because I don't know if you noticed, I almost ran off the track. I know I didn't make it seem like it was so exciting and completely out of control and about to be a catastrophe. I just saved the car and kept going, but I had noticed brake fade on the previous turn, and so when I came there, I hit the brakes a little bit early, and when I did that, I had no brakes. My pedal went to the floor.
Brakes are gone on the last turn.
So yeah, you can hear me there mentioning that my pedal went to the floor. That's what happened when I came to turn 10. It was the last turn of the entire session, and I hit the brakes, and the pedal went to the floor, and I managed to keep the car just on the edge of the track, and fortunately saw the checkered flag and slowed down. But it was a close call. I mean, if you feel any fade in your brakes, be extremely cautious. Try to take a cool down lap, test your brakes, or just pull into the pits and call it a session. It's not worth it. If you don't have brakes, you'll crash in the next turn. So just be cautious with that.